Here's what you need to know before the bell, talking about the rest of the year and kind of what to expect in your market playbook for the S&P 500. Here's the market for this year so far, doing great, right? Just kind of the steady uptrend, running right along the 20-day moving average for the most part. A few tests of the 50 and the 100-day along the way, but for the most part, the 20-day moving average has been the nice rising trend line of the market. Very low volatility this year. But as we start to get ready to wrap up this year, which is just right around the corner here, expect a little, expect this market to have a bit, and so far, right, as we've moved into December, we're playing right on book. Markets are up today. That's kind of right in the playbook. The first 5 days of December tend to be positive days. And so you get a little bit of a rise early in December. Then we're going to have a correction that'll probably come down here towards the 50-day moving average. We'll see. But this generally happens between about the 8th and the 15th of the month. And right around that period, we get a little bit of a dip in the markets. And again, it doesn't have to be dramatic. Could be just back to the 20-day as well. But just, don't take the size of my wiggle as any indication of what I expect. It's just I'm drawing. But expect a bit of a pullback here in the markets. And then we get set up for the year-end window dressing, where portfolio managers are going to try to put the best positions on their books for the end of the year. They've got to make sure they're fully allocated. So you get this rise into the end of the year. That's the Santa Claus rally that takes you into the first 5 days of January. So expect a bit of a pullback here over the next week or two, a little bit of sloppiness. Again, markets right now, very overbought on multiple levels. So again, just a bit of a correction to work off that process will be needed to have that rally into year end. So again, a little bit of a correction here to work off at least a little bit of some of this overbought condition will help support that year end rally into the end of the year. So again, just kind of expect a little bit of sloppiness over the next, after we get through this week, the next week and the week after, expect a little bit of sloppiness. Now, does that mean it has to happen that way? No, this is what happens on average in both presidential election years, on average, going back through history, as well as just every given market year, going back through history, going back to 1950. That's kind of the average pattern that occurs. It doesn't mean it happens every year that way. Markets could rally just straight on into the end of the year. It's certainly possible. Could have a much bigger correction. That's happened before as well. But on average, you tend to have a little bit of a pullback and then a rally into year end. Outside of that, the rest of the market just kind of continues to perform accordingly. And again, whether it's the NASDAQ, whether it's the S&P, they all pretty much look the same right now. Lots of bullishness across the board. NASDAQ breaking out to new highs. The S&P's had 50 new highs this year so far. So again, just really kind of pushing a very extended stretch of new highs for this year. And again, that's all bullish right now, but I do expect a little bit of volatility in the year. And next year, we'll start talking about after the first of the year. That's a whole different ballgame. So we'll talk about that when we get there. That's what you need to know before the bell this morning. All right, that wraps up. That's what you need to know for the. That's what you need to know before the bell this morning. I'll spit that out.